It's cooking with Luke, he's keeping it light. Healthy and simple, but still cook right. No fancy tricks or chef degree, just tasty meals that anyone can eat. So grab a pan and join the crew. If Luke can cook it, so can you.
Alright, what's up nerds? Back with another Cooking with Luke. We're going to be making some grass-fed organic ground beef and vegetables. And so I already have the vegetables pre-cut. I did a couple steps before remembering, oh yeah, I should record this. So, very simple, lots of colors, lots of vegetables, lots of protein. This whole thing, we're going to be eating this whole thing. The only thing that stinks about this is it's 85% lean, 15% fat. Otherwise, it's good. So this thing is 112 grams, 4 ounces, servings per container, 4. So we're going to be eating 400 grams of meat, which is 84 grams of protein. I, for the record, have pretty much eaten nothing today. So calories, 240. There is a good amount of fat in here, but whatever. Honestly, my body processes it fine, so I'm not complaining. So it's going to be about 240, 500, less than, all in all, everything said and done with the vegetables, about 1,000 calories, which is good for dinner for me because I eat kind of early, and so I'll have a solid 4 or 5 hours to digest all of this before going to bed, and then I sleep. Then I don't eat breakfast in the morning. I eat around 11:30. So it is going to be a lot, but my body is ready and waiting. So first off, like I said, we cut up a bunch of vegetables. The only thing I didn't have was garlic. I would have loved to throw some garlic in here. This is unsalted butter. That's why I kind of use a lot. Also, the water is going to eventually evaporate out, and so we're going to be stuck with just the butter in here. But I definitely use like a quarter of a stick of unsalted butter. I like the Kerryland Gold Irish butter. That's my personal favorite. So I've got sweet onions, white onions, yellow onions, and one other type of onion in here. Oh, red onions, duh. That's where the red is. And then, like you could see by the colors, red, yellow, and orange peppers. So take all of these guys, put it all together. Something important to note is I finally finished eating my peppers that were in my plastic bag. So now all of this stuff is stuff that has been stored inside of my glass containers in the freezer. And so if you're not on that train yet, I highly suggest you get on it. Definitely want to be storing all of your food stuff in the freezer inside of glass containers. So now we're just going to kind of let this sit for about, this is honestly probably going to take about 15 minutes. So I will come back when this is ready. Alright, so we've gotten to the point where most of the water has evaporated out, and you can see when I shake up everything, you can see that the bottom layer has browned up a bit, and this is exactly where I want. I don't really need to cook it any further past here for like browning or anything like that. So now I'm just going to take the beef and literally just rip it open and plop that bitch right inside. Boom. Take that and chop it all up. Spread it all out. Oh yeah. Make sure I get veggies mixed in real nice. Get that flavor throughout everything. I'm making sure that I cut it up nice and fine so that it easily cooks better. I'm just literally doing a nice, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Get all that in together. And so here, so normally I don't do any seasoning, but we're actually going to do a little bit of seasoning with this stuff. Although the butter and the peppers and juices and everything like that, that really does a good job of seasoning everything. But okay, so this is pretty much set as far as boom, as far as that's concerned. And real quick, we're going to take a nice oh yeah, get a nice munchy ASMR. And so now we're going to go in with a couple different things. I'm going to go in with the adobo because I don't have any salt in anything. So I don't mind using a bunch of adobo. I'm actually going to go in with a good amount of taco seasoning. And then the last thing I'm going to, two things I'm going to add is I go with a lot of red pepper. Love me my red pepper flakes. And I'm just doing a nice coating around every section, basically, or a nice like shape around every section. And then my favorite ingredient, ground cumin, which really just like, I can't get over how insane cumin makes meat sauce taste. I mean, it just gives it such an extra perfect zesty kick. Not even zesty kick. Actually, it kind of more mellows it out a little bit. I mean, I don't know how to, I really don't, I wish I knew how to describe what cumin does. This is so good. And then go in with the black garlic pepper seasoning. We're just going all the way around. And then our garlic salt seasoning. Because again, I'm not using any garlic. I would normally put in garlic cloves and put those in, but I don't have any. So we're going to take that, we're going to take that, and now the last two pieces. So we're going to do hot sauce, Frank's Red Hot, add that. And I honestly probably should be better about how much I'm adding in, but to be honest, I just make this so much that I just know, for me personally, how much seasoning to add, which is, I know, terrible advice for a cooking suggestion video, right? But I guess my big advice is that when you're going through and you're doing this, right, you can tell if you spread it. That's kind of why I like to just spread everything out nice and even along the plate, because let's say it's a little got too much cumin, it's a little too spicy, it's a little too salty, a little bit too whatever, right? All you gotta do is, instead of going all the way around the meat, go one circle less around the meat, something like that. Okay, so normally this is the point where I would add some tomato sauce, but because I don't have tomato sauce, we're just going to be adding a fresh tomato, or at least what I hope is a fresh tomato when I open it. Oh yeah, that looks delicious. Okay, so fresh tomato is the final piece of the puzzle, and I probably should be cutting this up differently, but right now we're not going really for perfection over here. And my preferred style of tomato chop for this, which we'll see in a second once I am done chopping these, is kind of a chunky, kind of like, you know, a chunky tomato cut. So first I'm going to lower the heat and then start adding my chunky tomato pieces. Oh, some of it fell off, that's alright. And that's just because I ended up keeping a couple extra chunky bits in here. Alright, perfect. And then, thankfully, I've got a good knife today. So, add in plenty of tomato chunks. I'm such a fucking big tomato guy. And also, it's just, you know, good for you. I mean, your body's not going to complain about putting a whole tomato inside this. Just like, you know, I put all these fresh peppers, fresh onions, fresh everything. I mean, your body's gonna love you for this. It is not gonna complain. It's like, Luke, no, stop giving me so much healthy veggies, such healthy fresh veggies. No, I hate it. I don't want it. Stop it. No. It's gonna be loving this shit. And don't make no mistake. You gotta throw a little bit of cheese in. You gotta throw a little bit of some other stuff in. It's gonna get a little unhealthy. Very slightly. Okay, perfect. All right, and one of the last steps is to take our cheese of whichever preference you've got, and we're going to add that. Alright, and then just mix the cheese in. Doing the same kind of cut method we did before, up and down. And then the last thing we do, yep. A little bit of water. We're just going to heat this up, and then once the water boils, we're going to simmer it down. Okay, so everything has started to boil, and now that that stuff's all set, cheese is melted in, very cheesy, a little bit on the bottom. When you go, you could see it, like, you know, a little cheesy, sticky on the bottom a little bit. So let's get all these juices together, and now put it to simmer. All right, so that's it. This is my preferred way to have it. I've got some BB-Go fried rice. The white rice is also pretty good. And so you can see, kind of got my rice on the bottom. I got my meat sauce in the middle. And then top it off with some reduced fat sour cream. And voila, this is my protein-packed dinner. I'm going to have probably 2 bowls of this, and then save whatever else I got. You saw what's left in the pot. I probably have, after these 2 servings, I'll maybe have 1 more serving for tomorrow, or if I pound this and my body just soaks it all up. But yes, that is tonight's protein-packed meal.
Like the vid, leave a word, drop a comment, get absurd, subscribe if you had some fun. We drop bangers one by one, check the description down below for all the links you need to know. Thanks for watching, you're the best. Now go